The children's health insurance program is on the line while Congress debates funding. And a truck slams into a Kentucky family's home.
And in sports, one team will play for a state championship. We'll tell you how they defeated a powerhouse. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Ohio is going to have to rearrange the way it funds the Healthy Start insurance program if Congress doesn't act quickly. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Sick. Thanks for joining us. Time is running out for Congress to approve more funding for the children's health insurance program that benefits nearly 9 million people across the country. The program, known as CHIP, is expected to run out of funding by the end of the year in Ohio if the U.S. Senate and House fail to pass a new measure. CHIP is used to fund Ohio's Healthy Start insurance program that helps around 200,000 children and thousands of others in the state below the poverty line. Lisa Hamler-Fugit says failing to keep funding CHIP is like cutting Medicaid for kids. Democrats criticize CHIP, claiming it takes too much money out of Medicare and the Affordable Care Act.
Why in the world would Congress, any member of Congress, put tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy above health care for children is just baffling.
Ohio lawmakers say they found a way to continue the program even if the federal funding falls through. But if that happens, Ohio plans to provide funds at the lower Medicaid match rate. 3 lawsuits following the industrial warehouse fire in Parkersburg are moving from state to federal court. The fire began October 21st on the over 400,000 square foot property owned by IEI Plastics. The lawsuit says IEI Plastics failed to take appropriate steps to prevent the fire. It also says the people in West Virginia and Ohio who are exposed to the smoke and airborne particles will require medical monitoring. Possible damages could exceed $5 million. The Ohio State Highway Patrol has released the names of 2 of the 4 people killed in a 3-way crash on US 35 yesterday evening. 40-year-old Paul Moore and Matthew Garrison were both killed in the crash. 2 juvenile passengers in Moore's car also died. Garrison was a passenger of a Honda CR-V. Troopers say Moore was driving north on Dixon Run Road, crossing US 35 when he failed to yield. After the CR-V hit the passenger side of Moore's car, a semi hit the CR-V. The driver of that car was flown to St. Mary's Medical Center in Huntington. Her condition is unknown. The driver of the semi was not injured in the crash. An Ohio sheriff's office says an inmate started a fire at a county jail in order to smuggle drugs into the facility. A Ross County resident spotted the fire Saturday in a second-floor window at the Ross County Jail. Authorities say they suspect the fire was started by an inmate who was serving a 5-year sentence on drug-related counts. The county sheriff's office says no one was hurt and no staff or inmates were ever in danger. Investigators have not released details of how the fire was started.
How's it going, everybody? Josh Gregory here with a look at your regional weather, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving weekend with their families. Temperatures right now are feeling a little warmer than the weekend, though. 48 degrees is where we're at right now, and with calm winds coming in from the southwest, it's not going to feel a whole lot cooler. Dew point at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when we would see a little bit of frost on the ground. However, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case this evening. Looking at temperatures across the region, you can see that it's pretty similar throughout the region. 50 in Columbus and Chillicothe, warmest points, and 45 in Ripley. That's the coolest it is going to get, so not a whole lot of fluctuation on that end. So plan your night accordingly. As we look into temperatures across the region, 48 in Athens, like I said, is going to be your low. And, 33 in Athens will be your low, 37 Chillicothe, 40 in Columbus, 34 in New Lexington. So plan your evening accordingly, 44 at 8, and then by midnight it is going to get 39 degrees, still pretty clear skies, and it's going to really clear up by 4 in the morning. 36 degrees will be the temperature then, and that's what we're going to see today, and it's going to feel even warmer tomorrow. We could see temperatures in the 60s, Chelsea.
It was a beautiful day today. I'm glad that's going to be sticking around. Thanks, Josh. Police are still searching for a man responsible for shooting a woman in the face early Thursday morning. Police say 27-year-old Ellie Richardson was leaving her job at Lachey's Bar in Cincinnati just after 3 a.m. As she was leaving, a man driving a van almost hit her. Police say Richardson approached the van and the driver shot her in the face. Police say this was an isolated incident of road rage.
And I've seen that van around here before in the morning, around 7 o'clock in the morning when I grabbed donuts right down here at the donut shop. And I remember that specific color in the tent. That's why that popped out to me. So it's very possible that maybe that's a local driver.
Richardson is sedated at UC Medical Center. Her condition is described as stable and she is expected to survive. A Louisville family is shaken up but unharmed after a truck slammed into the front of their house. The driver, a 10-year-old girl who told a police officer she, quote, wanted to kill people. Joel Shipper reports.
It sounded like a bomb went off.
Joshua Pate had just gotten home from work around 2:30 Friday afternoon when this happened. A truck crashed into his home near the intersection of New Cut Road and West Indian Trail.
Yeah, everybody was in shock. Everybody's still in shock.
The driver of the truck was a 10-year-old girl. She wasn't injured, but Pate heard her speaking with officers once they arrived.
He couldn't believe what she said. You know, he was like, "Excuse me?" And she said, "I wanted to kill people." And he said, "I'm sorry, what'd you say?" And she said, "I wanted to kill people."
5 children were in the room at the time. Pate says the furniture saved their lives.
The love seat slid around and made it kind of as a barrier. The back of the love seat's kind of tall, like, you know, this high. And the kids, I think they just kind of slid with the love seat.
Seconds before, Christina Bryan tells WDRB the girl hit her car before crashing into the home. Bryan's car is totaled. She was hit so hard, it caused her vehicle to spin several times, even creating cuts in the pavement.
When I heard it was a 10-year-old girl, my first reaction should have been, is she okay? But when I looked down there, she was walking from the truck to getting into the back of the cop car. I knew she was okay.
Bryan has some minor scrapes and bruises and is wondering how this could have happened. She's glad her 11-month-old twins weren't in the car at the time of the accident.
Where's the parents when this little girl even got in the car? How this little girl even got access to the keys?
That's the same question Pate has. His family's renting the home and the Red Cross has stepped in to help, but the family will be displaced for at least a month until the home's repaired. He says he's forgiven the girl, but what he really wants, he hasn't gotten.
All we want is an apology from the family, pretty much. And we haven't heard from them, haven't heard from anybody.
Both Pate and Bryan say they plan to take legal action against the girl's family, who have not commented about what happened. Ohio Senate President Larry Obhoff named John Barron as the caucus's next chief of staff. Barron currently serves as Deputy Executive Director and General Counsel to the Ohio Casino Control Commission. Barron previously served as Chief Counsel in the Senate, the Lieutenant Governor's Office, and the Ohio Department of Development. He takes over for outgoing Senate Chief of Staff Jason Mock on December 18th. Mock will move to the Senate Republicans' campaign operation. A legal battle over who will head the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, plus the beginning of a royal wedding. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. this is it.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
A recently filed lawsuit looks to answer the question of who is the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Jessica Schneider reports.
President Trump now facing a legal battle over who will head the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Leandra English is suing to stop the president from installing his budget director as head of the watchdog agency, declaring the appointment of Mick Mulvaney, quote, unlawful, and calling herself the, quote, rightful director. The lawsuit is seeking legal clarity on succession protocol within the agency. A source close to Mulvaney tells CNN that he will show up for work today at the agency, expecting a normal transition rather than a showdown for power. President Trump's decision also controversial because Mulvaney has been a harsh critic of the agency, which was created after the global economic crisis in 2008. It's designed to protect consumers from predatory financial institutions.
It's a wonderful example of how a bureaucracy will function if it has no accountability to anybody. It turns up being a joke, and that's what the CFPB really has been in a sick, sad kind of way.
Mulvaney also voted to end the Bureau, working with the president to roll back some of the agency's power, even slamming the agency before the Senate Budget Committee back in January.
Because they're run by essentially a one-person dictator who believes he can't even be fired by the president but for cause, we have created, perhaps inadvertently, the very worst kind of government entity.
The tug of war over leadership began Friday when Richard Cordray resigned as the agency's director, naming his chief of staff, Leandra English, as his successor. Just a few hours later, President Trump stepped in, instead naming Mulvaney as acting director. Senator Elizabeth Warren, one of the architects of the agency, is asserting the president is overstepping his authority, arguing English is entitled to the position under the Dodd-Frank Wall Street reform law, which states the deputy director becomes acting director when the agency's top spot becomes vacant. But the White House citing a different law, the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, which allows the president to temporarily appoint an acting head to an agency already confirmed by the Senate. Republicans are applauding Mulvaney's appointment.
I think the president's on good ground here to appoint somebody under the vacancy statute. And in terms of the agency, it's the most out of control, unaccountable federal agency in Washington.
While Democrats are slamming it as a political move.
Wall Street hates it like the devil hates holy water, and they're trying to put an end to it.
Leandra English said in a statement yesterday she filed a lawsuit to, quote, stand up for the CFPB. President Trump is meeting with members of the Senate Finance Committee today as Republicans hope to pass a tax reform. There are 12 legislative days until the end of the year and 11 calendar days until the government runs out of funding. House Republicans passed their version of tax reform before Thanksgiving. In the Senate, it can only afford to lose 2 votes. The deadline to avoid a government shutdown is December 8th, and lawmakers are already talking about another potential short-term extension.
I think the tax bill is going very well. We had a meeting on it today. It's going to be a tremendous tax cut, the biggest in the history of our country.
The deadline for flood insurance is less than 2 weeks away in the wake of 3 major hurricanes. Funding for some immigration-related issues could also be lumped into the crucial spending bill. Prince Harry is engaged. The prince quietly became engaged to American actress Meghan Markle earlier this month, according to the British royal family. Karen Kafa has the details.
There she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to really have to up my game.
For the first time since Monday's big announcement, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle speaking with the BBC about their courtship and now a spring wedding.
The fact that I fell in love with Meghan so incredibly quickly was a sort of confirmation to me that everything, all the stars were aligned, everything was just perfect.
Their engagement, they told the BBC, took place earlier this month on an otherwise ordinary night.
just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet and natural and very romantic. He got on one knee.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes.
Prince Harry is fifth in line for the British throne. Markle, an American actress known for her role in the TV show Suits. Markle said the couple was introduced by a friend and she had just one question.
I didn't know much about him, and so the only thing that I had asked her when she said she wanted to set us up was, I had one question. I said, well, is he nice?
The wedding will take place next spring.
I think this is the happy ending that people have wished for Prince Harry. He's been very vocal this year about how he struggled in the years following his mother's death. He's poured his heart and soul into the Invictus Games. But as William said when he married Kate, it makes such a difference when you've got someone alongside you.
2018 was already slated to be an exciting year for the royal family. Harry's brother, Prince William, and wife Catherine are expecting their third child in April. I'm Karen Kefa reporting.
The wedding is expected to take place in the spring of 2018. Robots are helping fill your Amazon orders. That story's still ahead.
And warmer temperatures and sunny skies, that's what we're seeing today and tomorrow, but showers later in the week. All that and more in my extended forecast next on Newswatch.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. Calm temperatures right now. We got clear skies, calm temperatures, and relatively warm temperatures too at that 48 degrees, and then winds coming in from the southwest at 6 miles per hour. And this is something we're seeing all across our region. So in Athens, 48, 50 up in Columbus, and then 48 in Newark. So not a whole lot of fluctuation. The warmest, it'll get 50 down in Ironton. So relatively warm throughout the area. And as we look into our almanac, 55 was our high today, so a little bit above the normal, but we're right where we want to be. So 33, just 4 temperatures below the normal average. So this is where we want to be right now. But take a look at these records. 80 degrees was our high back in 1990. Can you believe that? And then even more so, 8 degrees back in 1930. Also keep in mind, your days are getting shorter. Sunrise will be 7:26 a.m. So I told you rain later in the week. This is where it's going to come from. But as you can see right now, tonight, not a whole lot going in the Midwest. And as we look into tomorrow, again, not a whole lot going on. So this is why we're going to have a lot of clear skies, not a whole lot of rain until later in the week. So as you can see, this high pressure system is going to push these storm systems into our area. We won't be getting snow because it'll be a little too warm around here, but we will get some rain with that. So 33 degrees tonight is our low. It's going to feel a little bit cool, but mostly clear and calm winds. So not a whole lot of of things going on that end too. And this is going to transcend all across the region. So 33 in Athens, 40 warmest it's going to get in Columbus. A little unusual. Typically the south is the warmer area of our region. 36 or 37 in Cambridge, 36 in New Martinsville. And as we go into the night, plan it accordingly. So 8 p.m., 44 degrees, partly cloudy, clearing out all the way through the way until we got mainly clear skies. 36, 4 a.m., so 43 degrees when we're at the bus stop. It's going to feel pretty chilly, but we're going to have a quick warm-up tomorrow. So you're going to want to lose those jackets pretty quickly. I wouldn't recommend heavy coats because we are going to get pretty warm. Clear skies, calm winds, that's a trend we're just going to see throughout the next couple of days. So that warm-up, 63 degrees tomorrow is our high. Clear, sunny skies. Fall-like temperatures. Definitely not the temperatures you'd expect at the end of November going into December. Again, calm winds. And this is something that we're just going to see all across the region, mid to lower 60s around, and then plan it accordingly. Warm lunch break, and it's just going to warm up until 3 p.m. That's where we're going to see our high, then a quick cool down. So looking at our extended, not a whole lot of temperatures going below 50. We're going to stay roughly around the mid to lower 50s, except for Friday. That'll be our coolest point, 47 degrees. But again, not a whole lot of precipitation except for Thursday and Friday. Chelsea.
All right, thanks, Josh. The Amazon Fulfillment Center in Baltimore is using new technology to fill orders on time this holiday season. They are one of 25 facilities in the country with these robots. The robots work alongside about 4,000 employees. They are working to fill the orders made on Black Friday, costing over $5 billion.
They're certainly part of the team, right? So they don't replace anybody, obviously, but they do work really, really well with making our associates, allowing our associates to be more efficient.
Sales are expected to be up 16% this Cyber Monday compared to last year's. Amazon is expected to make nearly $6 billion in sales.
Hello everyone, I'm Mitchell Lyons. Protests prevented one Ohio State coach from getting a job. And LeBron James's former school went down Friday. I'll tell you who prevented them from earning their 7th state title next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is. The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back, I'm Mitchell Lyons. One team from Gridiron Glory's coverage area will be playing in the state title game. The Tri-Valley Scotties beat the St. Vincent St. Mary's Fighting Irish 24-6 to advance to Week 15. The Scotties' defense was the story of the night as they were able to stuff the dominant Fighting Irish running game. The Tri-Valley offense was led by their main man, Andrew Newsom, who had himself a game. The senior signal caller finished the night with 101 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns to pace the Scotty offense. They play Trotwood Madison on Saturday night. And despite losing their last 2 games of the season, the Ohio Bobcats are going bowling. The team announced that they accepted their invitation to play in the Bahamas Bowl. Ohio will take on fellow 8-4 team UAB. This year marks the 9th season they will play in a bowl game under Frank Solich. The game is on December 22nd, and kickoff is set for 12:30. The game will be televised on ESPN. And it was the Battle of Ohio, round 2. On the Bengals' first drive of the game, Andy Dalton found Tyler Boyd for an 8-yard touchdown, giving the Bengals a 7-3 lead, and a 49-yard field goal by Randy Bullock extended the lead to 13-3. The Bengals capped off a 10-play, 78-yard touchdown drive with a 1-yard touchdown to tight end Tyler Croft. The 2-touchdown lead gave Cincinnati a 23-9 lead. The game looked over, but the Browns didn't give up. 4th and goal from the 3. With 7 minutes to go, Kaiser took off. Kaiser plows through a defender and scores. With the Browns down 7, the Bengals got the ball back, and thanks to a very questionable targeting call, they extended their drive, and rookie Joe Mixon's 11-yard touchdown score gave the Bengals a 2-score lead. Cincinnati went on to win 30-16. And once again, Ohio State defeated Michigan in the game. Michigan took a quick 14-0 lead thanks to 2 touchdowns, but the Buckeyes responded. 2 J.T. Barrett touchdowns tied the game, and J.K. Dobbins found the end zone to give Ohio State a 21-20 lead. Mike Weber put the game out of the reach with a 25-yard rushing touchdown. However, the story of the game was an injury to J.T. Barrett. In the 3rd quarter, Barrett went down after a 10-yard run. Barrett did not come back and is questionable for next week. Head coach Urban Meyer was not happy about the injury, and because it actually happened before the game.
Well, I'm just so upset with myself. There was a non-football injury. Too many damn people on the sideline, and a guy with a camera hit him in the knee. I'm going to find out who, and think about that. So I'm so angry right now. I got to move on. But did I let that happen?
Barrett ends his career 4-0 as a starter against Michigan. And the Tennessee Volunteers had a head coach until they didn't. Ohio State defensive coordinator Greg Schiano reportedly had a memorandum of understanding with Tennessee to become the Vols' next head coach. And a few hours later, Tennessee backed out of the deal because of campus protests and backlash on Twitter. Fans protested because Schiano was an assistant coach at Penn State and worked with Jerry Sandusky, who was convicted on child molestation charges. I'm Mitchell Lyons, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Mitchell. A group of elementary school students in Pennsylvania are helping make the world a warmer place. Over the weekend, a group of students in New York helped donate 1,500 winter coats. The students have been collecting donations throughout the year, handing them out on Saturday at Life Path Christian Ministries.
It feels like I'm changing the world, making a difference. I saw people from Puerto Rico coming here, so that made me really happy.
The group also spent part of the day placing winter coats, hats, and gloves at parks in York City for anyone who might need them as the temperature continues to fall. Let's take a look at final weather.
Thanks, Chelsea. You might need those hats, coats, and scarves tonight. 33 degrees, but it's mostly clear. And as we look into tomorrow, 63, a big warm-up. Again, sunny, clear skies, not a whole lot going on that end. And throughout the week, we're just going to see a lot of, not a whole lot of fluctuation in the temperature. A little bit of rain on Thursday and Friday, but that's all we got. Back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Josh, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.